I know that had I had teachers who represented me growing up, I would have felt safer at school. I would have felt happier at school. I would have felt welcome. And that K-12 experience really framed my entire life, because my whole life I've searched for community. And that's been my main objective, personally and professionally, is I have to find community. I have to find people who share my experiences, who are like me, or where I can just feel belonging, even if neither of those are true. And Moonshot was the first place that I found that.
Creating space where we can support leaders in being able to step into their power and really taking ownership of their leadership. We recognize that they're modeling that out in communities. They're creating spaces that tell kids and families that it's okay for you to do that too. And it's okay for you to do that, especially with your learning. And that trickle effect has so much power. 5 years ago, our students were spending all of their time in environments that were led by white, typically male, typically middle-class leaders. Now, 5 years later, the pipeline that Moonshot has created is over 75 leaders, predominantly people of color, women, non-binary leaders, and all who come from the communities that they serve. And they are the ones founding and leading the schools, the programs that our kids are spending time in. Moonshot has made a huge dent in the past 5 years in the ecosystem of leaders of color and in ensuring that folks are staying in education and are continuing to lead in education.
I'm Luis Antesana, founder of Juntos to College. Juntos to College is big in the biggest pipeline for DACA recipients to access upward mobility, which means having access to high-quality jobs and careers that provide a living wage and strengthen everyone's communities.
The Moonshot Fellowship is a program that works with leaders that are coming from communities that have been traditionally underserved by the current education system. And we work with them to cultivate them and their leadership.
So I've been working in Montessori about 14 years in different Montessori spaces in the country and outside the country. And what I observed was that it was an education that was only available in communities of middle upper class, where most of them were white. And I knew that being an educator from Africa, I wanted it also for people who looked like me, people who had similar experiences or backgrounds or cultures or lived experiences like me. So I then decided to bring it outside the classrooms back to the communities.
We help fellows to see that their strengths are inherent to who they are, and the identity and experiences that they bring are a core part of who they are as leaders.
We are focused on a cohort model because we believe we are building a collective of leaders who are going to support one another in creating new structures of power and privilege and equity within the ecosystem.
Hi, my name is Branta Lockett, and I am one of the founders of the Black Lives Matter 5280 Freedom School. Black Lives Matter 5280 Education Squad saw that there was a need for Black students to be able to go to school with Black teachers and to just learn about things that they're normally not exposed to. And as a result of the positive influence that we're seeing with our Black Lives Matter 5280 Freedom School, we've decided that we are going to expand to a full-day school program that will serve students from kindergarten to 8th grade.
I think ideally in the future, we would see much more diversity in leadership in education. We would see a lot more diversity in thought around what education and learning even looks like. And I think a lot of that change in Metro Denver is going to be driven by the fellows who come through our program.
We're seeing folks step up and lead in the school district at different capacities. Just by seeing how that has happened in the short 5 years, there's no telling what we can continue to do by investing in the people that are really trying to change communities. It's amazing to think about what's possible.